Hey everybody, Blackwood953 here, coming to you with another deck profile with my friend Chris of the Silent Magicians. So let's get into it.
Well, start off, 3 Silent Magician. I went through a lot of deck builds with this because I've always loved Silent Magician as a kid. So its summoning condition is that you have to tribute a spellcaster specifically. So out of all the times I tried, I found out pendulums were the best way to go about it because they'll just go to extra deck so you can use them again. Its effect is that when a spell card is activated, negate it. You can negate it, so you can choose which one you want to. That includes pendulums also. The other one is that you can, when this gets destroyed in general, you can special summon out 1 Silent Magician ignoring its summoning condition. So technically you can summon level 4, but you always summon level 8. Dragon Pulse Magician. 2 of them, 1 scale, that's honestly the only reason you run it, and it's a spellcaster. Dragon Pit Magician, to go along with the Dragon Pulse. This is your best high scale to go into. This one basically, the normal monsters on the field, but the pendulum effect is, this is MST, this is a Raigeki break, but you have to just pitch a pendulum for it. Next, I run the Draco engine. I run 2 Vector because out of everything that I noticed, this actually messes with pendulums the most because of the fact that this just specifically negates your opponent's pendulums. Next is 2 Magical Abductor. This, when it's in the pendulum zone, after 3 spell card activate, you get to add a pendulum by taking the counters off. Monster, you remove 3, you get 1 spell card. You get 1 level 1 spellcaster, so you can get your effect veilers with other things that you need. 1 Wisdom Eye because it's Wisdom Eye. Skullcrobat because it's Skullcrobat. This thing just normal summon, add anything you need. 1 Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. I apologize for the rarity because you can't exactly read the card at all. 1 Luster, just because you're running a pendulum deck, so you always run Luster. 1 Noble Dragon Magician. This is the odd one that I run. You basically, in the monster zone, if you don't control a magician, it blows itself up, so that's not great. But reason I run it is because it's the pendulum tuner. Its fun fact is that when it's in the graveyard, but you control an Odd Eyes, so basically, when you pendulum summon this out, but you have this in the grave, you can reduce this thing's level by 3, summon it out. So then you can sink into the 7, so normally you go for the medium. And last Draco Slayer Arbon is Master. In the pendulum zone, it pops one of your opponent's scales and it's a normal monster, so it's fine. Next, the other engine I run, the Magician Girl engine. This is one of the targets for magical, Magical Abductor for the field effect, because it's a level 1 spellcaster. Search out this, normal summon out this, and then you basically summon out her older sister, Choco. And Choco works with almost the entire deck because it's all spellcasters. Normally you actually want to pitch this is one of the better cards to pitch is Noble Dragon, because this thing effect, you pitch this, and then when you have an Odd Eyes on the field, you can just put it back out onto the field. So that's the Magical Girl engine. Next I run a few hand traps. I run 2 Max C because it's Max C. And then I run 2 Effect Veiler. Obviously the second I see that I'm versing Magispector, this goes out because it doesn't do anything against them. Next I run 2 Trick Clown because it's a spellcaster that can keep self-reviving, so it's very useful. And this with Choco is going to be a rank 4. I run one Mascamillion because I do run a lot of monsters that have 0 defense, so I can use this effect for that. But normally you end up pendulum summoning because if you don't, you can't special summon from anywhere but the extra deck. Last monster I run is Sound Magician level 8. You run 1 because any more is very cloggy, and even still I end up seeing this card a lot, so yeah. And that's it. That's a very big monster count. Next, I run triple instant fusion because Norden's a thing, and there's also some other fun tech cards that I can use with this deck. 2 Silent Burning. When a monster is involved in battle with one of your Silent Magicians, or if you attack with one, but you have more card advantage, you can draw till both of you have 6. Normally this is something bad. You don't obviously want to give your opponent a lot of resources, but if you swing for game, this thing, when this card activates, this thing becomes 4,000. So that's easily half of your opponent's life points. Its secondary effect is that you can banish it and add 1 Silent Magician card from your deck to your hand, so you can add your Silent Magician to continue your plays. Since I run a lot of normal monsters, I run Unexpected Die. I would run Painful Decision, but I don't feel like spending $40 on a card, so... 1 Pendulum Call, because I run the Magician engine, and 1 Draco Face-Off, because I have the Draco engine. So... Only trap card I run is Treacherous Trap Hole, just because it pops 2 cards at any time.
Now the extra deck?
Onto the extra deck. Roman Felicia.
Self-explanatory most.
Yeah. Just personal thing, these are the only 2 cards are the entire reason I even made the deck. Just because I love Silent Magician, and this has always been my favorite XCs. 1 King of Feral Imps, because you do have the Mascamillion, so normally you can overlay if one of them is a 0 defense one, detach that one, add the Mascamillion, normal summon the Mascamillion, summon out that, and then be able to do into the synchro play. 1 Magispector Paladin, because I can use its other effect to summon out any of the... I can use its detach effect actually in this deck to summon out the Draco Slayers because I have those, and obviously any Pendulum deck that has access to rank 4s normally runs this for the search effect. 1 Abyss Dweller because it shuts down certain decks. Trapeze because you run a lot of spellcasters. Castel because it's Castel. Silent Anarch because Silent Anarch. Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon because this gets over big cards, because if you don't have a lot of hand advantage, your base attack is normally like 2,500 anyway. This is one of the techs I was talking about with Instant, Thousand Eyes Restrict, because you can activate that, use this, take a card, tribute this because it's a spellcaster for this, and you still have, if you go second, you still have 4 cards in your hand, so this is 3k, you removed a card that probably like couldn't be destroyed by battle or something.
Yeah, and most people are going to expect that card.
Yeah, it's always funny. The thing that people expect when they see Instant Fusion. Norden, because it's a rank 4 by itself.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check, but I don't think so.
Crimson
Look it
Blade.
up when I got it.
Because it's Crimson. Because I have the ability to, and this actually shuts down a lot of decks. And Ignister, because I'm running pendulums. So that's... I'm pretty sure that's trademarked at this point.
3 for a penny.
But yeah, that's the deck.
We'll give you
That's it.
And what's good matchups and bad?
Good matchups. This deck has a very good matchup against other pendulum decks because of the fact that I dubbed it as the pendulum deck that hates other pendulums, because almost the entire deck can actually just by nature shuts down pendulum, like the ability to make scales, so it makes it very hard for them to play. hardest matchup is probably Blue Eyes, just because their base attack is 3k and it's very hard to get over them.
Alright then, so that's deck profile, and Black Wing 953 signing out.